Our world is a wonderful symbol that we're getting the same thing over and over and over. And so new thought as a movement is changing paradigms. One thought at a time, one idea at a time, one expression or action at a time. And I believe now more than ever we are called to be a little bit more courageous with the thoughts that we are having that maybe shake the foundations of the world as we know it. But the world is calling and screaming for us to stand in that courage and that strength and not shy away from the opportunities that come before us to make a difference by expressing something that might make even ourselves uncomfortable, but certainly the world uncomfortable as our process of awakening.
The world as a whole thinks that someone else controls their destiny, that it's outside of them. It's always they are doing this, they're doing this to us. With New Thought, they get an opportunity to realize that they make the difference in the world. They create their world with their thinking and their thoughts, and they can change their world, and they can make their world a better world.
There's this initial enthusiasm and joy in hearing something that empowers them. And then I have to laugh because then right after that, there's that moment when that responsibility that you were talking about kicks in. And it's a complete 180 shift in realizing that I've become so accustomed to blaming that thing out there. And to have to shift that and realize that no, I'm the one that begins to initiate and instigate something new within my own mental process. That changes the landscape of my experience.
I love the affirmation, I am 100% responsible for my life, for the rest of my life. And sometimes I've asked my congregation to speak that, and I said, don't speak it lightly. I don't want you to think about that. I want you to take that in. What would it mean if I am 100% responsible for my life for the rest of my life?
Well, they say the truth is it will set you free. But first, it's going to really piss you off. And it's going to scare you and rally you to the core of your being, responsibility, really.
Right.
And I think the reality with New Thought is it's wonderful if it stays within our centers. It stays within our communities. It's good to an extent. But it must go to the streets. It has to leave the doors of our centers, or it remains a stagnant environment. It's not growing. It's not expanding.
Well, I was reading a poem the other day that was a takeoff of the scripture that says, when I was hungry, you fed me. And it said, when I was hungry, you formed a humanities committee to talk about my situation. And it went on, and I'm still hungry, you know, and so there is that need for some tangible action. Not from a proselytizing, but from a living by example, by proving the principle and just offering the gifts that we have, realizing that we're not losing anything, we're gaining, we're expanding because what I'm giving to is a part of me.
How can you tell a pear is sweet? You have to eat it.
Exactly.
You know, you can look at it all day and you'll never know it until you taste it yourself. And that's the way it is with New Thought. You have to taste it. You have to work with it to see that it manifests in your life.
New Thought has an openness to all. And while we have teachings, we do not exclude somebody who has maybe a different path. It's not we are better than, or we have the only way, or we have the right way, but it embraces all of that. And people can step in at what level they want to step in at. And I have people in my congregation who remain in previous spiritual traditions, but they are welcome, and we welcome them. And actually some of them are non-Christian. I thought, how wonderful that is.
It's easy for New Thought in our communities to become safe havens, to just be whatever you want to be and stay stagnant. I believe our job is also to challenge people. I had a mentor tell me one time that on any given Sunday, if I haven't ticked somebody off, I have not done my job. If I haven't come up against their comfort level or challenged them in a way, not that they're wrong, but that there's an opportunity to grow, then I haven't done my job. And I believe that the dreams that we have must cause us to have the knees knocking. To the marrow of our bones, we must be challenged. Otherwise, we're just going to be the same that we've always been. And the blessing to me as a New Thought minister is that you cannot help but offer a gift to somebody. A gift, not a forced idea, but a gift. And then I get to examine how that gift is playing in my life.
And I've always loved the Napoleon Hill quote where he said, the timing will never be just right, so why wait? And I love the opportunity that is afforded us to take this philosophy that teaches us that the power is within, and to find ways to exemplify and uplift and teach people without beating them over the head or shaming them, but doing it through example.